Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere episode, 305? Alright, today we're going to be talking about the Maelstrom, the 5 kilo, as the main one as we look into the 3058 book. Alright, the Maelstrom is a 580 moving 75-ton mech, which means it has an XL engine, because if you didn't have the XL engine, it wouldn't have very much for weaponry. Alright, got that. So, yeah, XL engine on an Inner Sphere mech. And we have 19 double heat sinks, so wow, it has a lot of heat. It can dissipate a lot of heat. Well, it has 231 points of armor, which is maxed out at 14.5 tons. No special equipment like ferrofibrous armor to go with that, or Indosteel, which would be something to do if you really want. It's like, heck, you could go that route and free up a few more tons, but it doesn't. And then we have, we're looking at, for equipment, an ER PPC in the right arm. Okay. And then we have an ER large laser in the left arm. All right. Right there's 27 heat. Well, we got 38 to play with, so yeah, we got plenty of dissipating heat ability. All right, and the right torso, it carries a tag system. All righty. And then we have in the head, we got a medium pulse laser, and in the center torso, we got a medium pulse laser and a small laser in the center torso. So, right. Okay, you add up all the heat. That explains why they're running with 38 heat or 19 double heat sinks, or 38 they can dissipate. So that's net zero. All right, so yeah, that's not too bad. So there's 9 plus 27 is 36. And if you run, it's 38. So, hey, that's good. So it doesn't worry about heat. And it has a lot of armor to keep it alive for a while to protect those XL engines. And being that this was a Star League era design, well, it sort of looks at why they put ER everything, or pulse lasers and stuff like that, and XL engines, because that seems to be the standard fare when it comes to Star League Defense Force. Okay. Which means that some of the clans probably have some of these, because, well, they designed them, had built a few, then we had the downfall, and, well, it's hard to keep a mech going when it's designed for XL engines and they didn't have any, because they blew up the factories and they go, I don't know how to make those things. And so, like, really? Seriously? You couldn't retro-engineer one of those? But, you know, I digress. It is the fluff of the game. All right. All right, so what do I think of this thing? Well, it's kind of a cavalry mech for keeping up. It's not fast. It's, you know, being a 5.8, it's not slow. But it could be a decent, like I say, if you look into the Succession Wars, early Succession Wars, before all these were wiped out or destroyed during the Star League, when it had the Civil War there. So let's say by chance you had one that's just made it to the first Succession War era. All right, so it would make a decent lance leader, let's say, of a cavalry system, where you got some other 5.8 moving mechs, and this would be the heavy hitter, one that would take some of the hits. Let's say if you had some Griffins and Wolverines, stuff like that. Similar movement capability. And then with the tag, you're able to, it's like, oh yeah, we got artillery support, call that in, you know, that kind of stuff. And help bombard targets from 15 and closer. Now, personally, I probably would have downgraded those pulse lasers to standard medium lasers, and maybe upgrade the PPC or ER large to a PPC and go that route. And you're not losing, is like, that would be pretty much 38, 39 heat. So you're not losing much. And the firepower, it's like, is the same. But, you know, and you gain a few more hexes with the medium lasers. And then you got two heavy weapon systems with the PPCs going out to 23 versus 119. So you can hang out at longer ranges with both your heavy weapons and bash away, or you just get within 15 and then start hammering. You know, start trying to use that tag on a target, especially if it's a pillbox or something like that, where you want to blow it up with artillery. But overall, it's not one of those mechs that really screams at me, oh, I gotta have one of those, because I looked at it and go, I don't really want one of these things. It's like, I just go with a standard Marauder that survived through the Succession Wars and just do some upgrades, like maybe throw some ferrofibrous armor on it, upgrade the weapons to ERPPCs, and, you know, that kind of thing, and double heat sinks. You know, go the low-tech route with some minor upgrades. So other than that, you know, I'd rather have one of those versus this. All right. Yeah. But you know how I'd use it. It is a flanking cavalry style mech. Get around the flanks. Has some good movement. Throw it into your medium lances. If you're playing a game where you're running against somebody and suddenly one of these show up and it's a heavy in your medium lance, you're like, your opponent might go, okay, what are we going to do with this thing? You know, it may take a while to beat it down. And they might just focus on trying to beat it down because it's got XL engines. And if you're playing in any of my groups, they look at, oh, that mech's got XL engines. Let's just kill it as quick as possible. Take a torso out most of the time, and it's done. So that's kind of like how they sort of work with that one. Now, there are a couple other versions of this mech. All right, so we got the 6E or 6 Echo. This is the early one. This is the prototype. I got a feeling, it's like it says, the heat sinks, armor configuration are identical to the 6K, okay? But to show that the ER large and the PPC would quickly overwhelm the reduced cooling systems, because it's probably, it's that 1800 battle value, and the other one is 1619, which is interesting. Why is the 5K versus the 6E such a big difference? Things that make you go, But I got a feeling when they're saying the ER large and the ER PPC would quickly overwhelm the heat sinks, which means it's probably, it comes to me as it had single heat sinks versus double heat sinks. And if that's the case, you know, if you had only 18 singles versus, and then you fire the two large weapons, you know, you're pumping out 27, so you go up 9, just like bam, like that. And if you ran, that's 11. So yeah, you got some problems going on. And when you look at on the heat scale 11, I'll just do a quick look here. Yeah, you got a -2 movement. Yeah, and a +1 hit. So yeah, that adds up quickly, and it's like suddenly your 5.8 is now a 3.5. Yeah, then you're gonna die quicker. All right, now we have the 6K. All right, this scout version of the mech adds a Beagle. I can't even talk. Beagle probe. You know, Beagle active probe, a Guardian ECM. Okay, I can live with the Guardian ECM on one of these, but Beagle probe might be better suited for something that's a little faster to get around and check things out. 2 heat sinks were removed. The pulse lasers were downgraded to medium lasers. Okay, I have no problem with the downgrading the pulse lasers to standard medium lasers. You're not losing any firepower, and you're gaining range. Now, because you got to get practically knife fighting range to use intersphere pulse lasers. Even though, heck, you're being in the same range, practically the same range, but you only got 1 hex advantage with the large pulse, intersphere large pulse laser versus the standard medium lasers. Yeah. And then we have a pair of small lasers were added to make up for the lost firepower. What lost firepower? And then the loss accuracy is sorely missed. Okay, you're losing some accuracy due to the pulse lasers, but you got to get in knife fighting range to use them. The loss of heat sinks on the Maelstrom put it in danger of building heat. Not necessarily. So they downgraded the large laser in their standard PPC, and this one comes in at 1678 for battle value, which is interesting. So you're only dropping by what? 14 battle value, and you downgraded your weapon systems to standard large laser and a PPC. You don't need to do that. All right, so it has what, 16 double heat sinks, which dissipates 32. If you still had the ER PPC and the ER large laser, you're pumping out 27. If you run, that's 29. You're still running cool, and you can throw one medium laser in there and not worry about heat. What makes your heat go up is if you got into small laser range and you're adding that second one, so there's an extra 5. So you're going up 5. Yeah, it's like, yeah, are you necessarily going to fire the large laser? Well, that's the way I kind of look at that. If you're within the small laser range, and necessarily, is that the medium laser could be at short range, but the small laser could be at long range. Are you going to fire those things? Not necessarily. So yeah, there's that. All right, then we got the 7K. We have, this one has the supercharger, so it can briefly hit 100 kilometers versus the other one, which goes up to 86. So you're getting an extra pip, a movement. So, okay, that might add a little bit. All right, so you're looking at that. The engine has been increased to allow it to cruise at 58. Well, yeah. So, there's that. It carries a C3 boosted slave. All right, it has 3 medium pulse lasers for in-close fighting, and it carries a clan-built heavy large laser in the left arm and a clan-built ER PPC in the right arm. 19 double heat sinks. All right, you're probably going to need those 19 double heat sinks to take care of the heavy large laser and the clan ER PPC firing together. Now, if you get closer, which one you're going to use? Are you going to fire the clan PPC, or will you use the clan heavy large laser? Which one of those two will be shut off so you can use your 3 pulse lasers up close and not worry about heat? But this comes in at 24 and a half. 2400 and 2462 for battle value, because you threw on the 2 clan weapon systems. Now, with the C3 boosted slave, yes, this mech can get in close, but if you've got a network going on and you got a mech closer, though that clan heavy laser and that clan ER PPC will be your primary weapon systems, you may not even be worried about using those pulse lasers, because those other 2 ones are going to rip a ton of armor off somebody, especially if you do, like I said, throw them into a medium lance and they suddenly showing up into facing off against other mediums, and your mech gets in close and is like, hey, guess what? I'm shooting at short range because my other guy's up close. You don't have any ECM or anything. And then you're just ripping, shredding armor off. Let's say you say, we're going to fire at that. Let's say it's a Centurion, for example, and everybody in the lance is going to fire at it. And this guy goes first, tears off 2 big giant chunks out of it. So all the armor in 2 sections suddenly disappeared. And then your other guy's next, okay, I'm going to fire this guy because he has heavy weapons also. So you're just, it's like order operations. The heaviest weapon systems fire first on those mechs, and then you're working down to your crit hunter as the last mech that will fire. Because, hey, the guy with all the, let's say, the SRMs and stuff like that, it's like, I'm going last, and then rack up all the crits, and suddenly that mech disappears. And you got that. That's how we work the system in that route. Now, the last one is the Redback, created by Clan Widowmaker. Ooh, Clan Widowmaker. This one has an ER PPC, the Clan ER large laser. Basically, you're taking the standard Maelstrom and you just put Clan weapons on it. And this one comes in at a little, almost 2100 battle value. So it's an early version of the Clan mech. So yeah, it's an interesting mech. So you're probably going to have two Clan. All right, the small laser's been upgraded to an ER medium laser. And then you're going to have a bunch of other Clan, like two Clan medium pulse lasers. That would be nice. That wouldn't be a bad. And if you're using the Clan XL engine, then you got a mech that could be very interesting to put on the field. A battle. Yeah, that would be an interesting to try out sometime. Throw in a game. So if my brother's listening right now, yeah, that would be interesting to see one of these show up. Okay, so that is the Maelstrom. Interesting design. It has potential. Now, some of the things I've done to look at this thing, I've done is like upgraded the ER large laser to an ER PPC. So you got two ER PPCs. You have 2, 3, 4 medium lasers, a flamer, tag, and you have ferrofibrous armor on board. And you're running with 18 double heat sinks. So you lose a heat sink. It's not a big deal because, you know, one of those things where you fire the two PPCs when you're getting range, and when you finally get in close with a good firing solution with your medium lasers, you shut off a PPC and throw in the 4 medium lasers and do more damage. That's kind of like your crit hunting little system that you got going on. And then if they really get close, then you can throw the flamer in. And guess what? You're running cool. Yeah. Now, if you fire, getting a little closer, you can fire the 2 PPCs, fire 2 medium lasers, and your movement is basically causing any type of heat problems. So you can do that if you're walking, do it for 4 turns. If you're running, you can do it for 2 turns. And then, you know, go a turn without firing your medium lasers, you cool off. Hey, there's that. So that's kind of like how I always look at my mechs. I never fire everything at once because I don't like heat, because it gives you problems. I say the only time I ever have heat problems is when someone hits an engine, giving you an engine hit, and suddenly, or losing heat sinks, and you're like, ooh, well, that didn't work out so well, you know. But you know, that's just the game, the way it is. So, but you can mitigate heat as best you can. So that is the Maelstrom. That would be your 75-ton mech. All right, hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcrix out.